The morning started like any other, calm and slow. The woman woke before the sun because she liked the quiet hours she believed early light made. People honest with themselves, she packed simple food, water, and a small bag. She was not chasing adventure. She only wanted peace in the forest. She had walked these lands many times before and knew their moods. She respected the trees, the wind, and the animals. She never believed the land belonged to her. She believed she was only passing through the forest. Breathed softly as she walked. Tall trees stood like old watchers. Leaves moved gently, with the wind. Birds spoke in short sounds that echoed far. She followed a narrow trail made by years of footsteps and rain. The ground was damp but steady. She kept her steps slow and careful. She knew rushing made mistakes more likely. Far deeper into the forest, a small group from a local tribe moved together. They were teaching a young boy about the land. He was curious and full of questions. He listened, but also wandered with his eyes. The forest pulled at his attention like a story that never ended. He walked a little behind the others, touching leaves and stones. He did not feel afraid. He had grown up hearing stories of the forest as a living thing. The adults spoke softly among themselves. They trusted the area. They had traveled here many times before. They believed danger was rare when respect was shown. They did not notice the moment the boy stepped slightly away. His feet followed a small animal trail without thought. The sound of voices faded behind him. The woman felt something shift before she saw anything. The birds went quiet. The wind paused. She stopped walking and listened. Her body stiffened. She had learned to trust these signs. She looked around slowly. Her heart beat faster, but she stayed calm. Fear without control could be deadly, though. Boy stood near a cluster of bushes, fascinated by fresh claw marks on a tree. He had seen markings before, but never this large. He reached out without thinking. Then the ground shook lightly. A deep sound moved through the trees like thunder held inside a chest. The bear emerged slowly. At first, its size filled the space between trees. Its fur was thick and dark. Its eyes locked onto movement. The boy froze. His body refused to obey. His breath caught in his chest. The woman saw the bear at the same moment she saw the child. Her mind raced, but her body acted faster. She knew running would trigger a chase. She also knew the child could not move. She placed herself forward, stepping into the open. Her arms felt heavy, but steady. She spoke softly, not to the bear, but to herself. Distance between them closed. The bear lifted its head. Testing the air, the woman could hear her own heartbeat. In her ears, she thought of nothing else. Not fear, not pain. Only the child behind her. The forest seemed to hold its breath. Trees stood still. The ground felt unreal, like a dream. The woman shifted her stance slowly, making herself visible. She knew the risk. She knew there was no guarantee behind her. The boy began to cry quietly. The sound cut through the silence. The bear reacted. Its body tensed. Muscles rolled beneath its fur. The woman raised her arms, making herself appear larger. She did not scream. She did not wave wildly. She stayed grounded and strong. In the distance, voices from the group echoed faintly, unaware of the danger. Their steps were still far away. Time stretched thin. Each second felt heavy. The woman took another step forward. Placing herself fully between the bear and the boy, she could feel the heat of the animal, even from where she stood. The smell of earth and fur filled her senses. She thought of her own childhood, of lessons learned about bravery not being the absence of fear, but the decision to stand anyway. The bear lowered its head, letting out a low sound that vibrated through the ground. The woman held her position. She remembered advice given long ago about not breaking eye contact, about staying present. She focused on breathing slow and deep, though. Boy behind her pressed his hands against his mouth, trying to stay quiet. Tears ran down his face, but he did not move. He felt the protection without understanding it. Fully, leaves shifted as the bear took a step closer. The woman could see scars on its body, signs of a hard life lived in the wild. She did not see a monster. She saw a creature acting on instinct. Her legs trembled but did not give in. She thought of the people who would never know what happened here if things went wrong. She thought of how fragile moments could be. Bear paused. Again, its ears twitched, catching distant sounds. The wind changed direction, carrying human scent from the approaching group. Confusion flickered across the animals. Posture. The woman seized the moment. She made herself louder, stamping once on the ground using a firm voice, steady and low. It was not anger, it was warning. The bear hesitated, torn between curiosity and caution. The forest slowly exhaled. Birds remained silent, but the tension shifted slightly. The woman did not move. She waited, knowing any sudden action could shatter everything. Her body ached from the strain of stillness. Far away, the voices grew closer, unaware of how close they were to tragedy. The woman stayed rooted, her eyes locked on the massive form before her. The boy felt hope flicker inside him. He believed, without knowing why, that he would survive. He trusted the presence in front of him. The forest stood witness to a moment that would change many lives, a moment born from chance, choice, and courage. The bear finally shifted its weight, stepping back just slightly. The woman remained steady, ready for whatever came next. This was only the beginning of a story that would travel far beyond these trees. A forest was tense. The woman could feel every heartbeat, every shift of wind and movement of the ground beneath her feet. Her arms stayed raised, her eyes locked on the massive bear. She could see the muscles ripple under the dark fur. Every breath controlled, every motion precise. The boy stayed frozen behind her, unsure what to do, only trusting the presence in front of him. Time stretched unnaturally long. Each second weighed like stone. She could feel the bear studying her. Just as she studied it, there was intelligence there, awareness of the situation. She did not underestimate it. She did not think of escape. She thought of protection only. A branch snapped nearby, sending a small shower of leaves fluttering to the ground. The bear twitched its head, its ears pointing sharply. She shifted slightly, her weight grounded, her stance using what she had learned from years in the forest. Years of listening, watching, understanding. The patterns of life around her now mattered. More than ever, the boy whimpered quietly. He wanted to run, but his feet refused to move. He wanted to cry, but knew to stay silent. He felt the warmth of the woman in front of him like a shield. He could sense the courage without fully understanding the depth of it. The bear moved a step closer, its eyes locked on movement. Its growl was low and steady, not loud, but it vibrated through the air. The woman held her ground. She thought of the stories told about such animals, about the respect needed, about the danger hidden in every instinct. The bear was powerful, but it was also cautious, and her stillness added to the uncertainty. Her mind raced, thinking through what she could do. She could not fight it with hands alone. She needed to use space, presence, and voice. She knew she must appear dominant. Without anger, she must appear larger. Without aggression, she adjusted her posture, slowly letting her shadow stretch across the forest floor. The bear sniffed the air, its nose twitching. She kept her eyes fixed on it, not staring blindly, but calculating every micro-movement. It tested the boundaries with each step. The forest seemed to shrink around them, as if holding its breath. Her legs trembled from tension, from fear, but she forced them to stay steady. The boy felt the tremble too, and it reassured him that she was fully committed. A sudden gust of wind carried sound from the distant voices of the tribe. The bear turned its head, listening. She knew that this could either save them or provoke it further. She had no control over it, but she stayed rooted. Leaves brushed against her skin, as if the forest was whispering. She drew in slow breaths, filling her lungs fully. Each time she felt her muscles coiling, ready for sudden movement. Her mind was focused only on the boy and the bear. She had no room for anything else. The bear took another step forward, then stopped again. Its head moved slowly, scanning the surroundings. Its paw dug lightly into the soil, leaving deep marks. The woman felt the power behind each step. The ground vibrated slightly. She could see the claws and the scars, and she felt respect mixed with fear. She did not flinch. She did not shout. She only adjusted stance and remained present. The boy could see the tension in her face, the intensity in her eyes. He felt a strange calm. Even amidst terror, he clutched his small hands together, his body shaking, but he stayed behind her. He knew instinctively that moving now could be worse. He trusted the presence. Before him, she shifted her weight from one foot to another, silently testing the reaction of the bear. She knew the importance of body language. She knew the slightest hint of weakness could invite attack. The bear seemed curious. It had not yet fully decided on action. It was a creature of instinct, reacting to signals she had to give it signals of strength without threatening it completely. Her voice was calm, low and steady. She spoke quietly under her breath, words not for the bear, but for herself. Keeping focus and grounding, she could feel adrenaline flooding her system, but she controlled it. She had no fear for herself, only for the boy behind her. The bear sniffed closer, examining her scent, her presence. She held her ground, her arms moved slowly, adjusting to make her appear larger. Yet composed, her shadow stretched like a shield over the boy. She felt her heart hammering, yet she stayed fully present, aware of each muscle, each fiber, ready to respond. The boy felt a strange connection forming. He did not know how to explain it. Only that the presence in front of him was stronger than fear. He felt invisible threads of courage wrapping around him. She had become more than a protector. She had become a force the bear had to respect. A dry branch snapped closer. The bear reacted instantly, eyes flashing. She did not move, but she could see every twitch, every instinctive response. The animal was weighing risk and reward. She felt her own instincts rising, a silent dialogue passing between human and beasts. Forests seemed to hum around them. She could feel energy pulsing from earth and trees. The bear stepped forward, testing boundaries. Again she moved slightly, countering with her own position, showing readiness but not provoking attack. Her breath was slow, measured, every inhale a pulse of resolve. The boy whimpered softly but stayed still. She felt his presence trembling behind her, but she stayed rooted. She whispered calming words to herself, not to the bear, keeping rhythm steady, keeping mind sharp. Bear circled slightly, its head low, testing her again. She adjusted stance each time, keeping balance and position. She did not take eye contact away. She let the bear feel her awareness, her focus. Her body was tense but controlled. She did not give it reason to strike. Suddenly, far off, the voices grew louder. She could feel help approaching. She knew not when exactly, but she had to maintain her position until then. She felt the weight of responsibility pressing down on her. Every choice mattered, every movement critical. The bear paused, its nose twitching, scanning the forest again. It had not decided yet. Its body language suggested curiosity mixed with caution. She held still, her arms wide, shadow stretching over the boy. She would not let instinct overtake courage, though. Boy felt hope flicker faintly. He saw that she would not give up. He believed in her presence as a shield. He felt the forest quiet around them like it was waiting. She had become the anchor of the moment, the axis on which safety balanced. Time moved slowly. The world narrowed to three living beings: the bear, the woman, and the boy. The forest seemed to lean closer, listening, watching each decision. She felt connection with life around her. Every sound, every smell, a message she understood. Spoot, she whispered to herself again, grounding her mind, body fully aligned, ready for sudden movement, yet refusing panic. Each choice measured, precise. The bear shifted its weight, moving slightly back, then forward. She mirrored with slight adjustments, staying in control, not retreating, not charging. The boy clung to the moment, staying silent. He watched the shadow of the woman stretch over him, and he felt courage. He did not know how to name it. She was larger than fear, larger than the bear. She had become the embodiment of protection and strength. The bear moved one last step, then paused, sniffing air. She felt a shift, as if the moment balanced on an invisible edge. She did not flinch. She did not give in. She stood rooted, unwavering, her presence commanding attention without violence. The forest held its breath for the outcome of choice, instinct, and courage. The forest stayed quiet after the tense moment. The woman remained still, her body tense but controlled, ready for any sudden movement. She felt the bear studying her every muscle, every breath. The boy clung to her shadow, feeling a strange calm despite fear. He trusted the presence before him, without fully understanding how she could be so strong. The bear shifted again, testing the ground, its claws pressing into the soft soil. She adjusted stance slightly, keeping balance and dominance. Her eyes never left the animal. She breathed slow and deep, keeping heart steady. She could feel the adrenaline flowing, yet she stayed fully aware, ready to act. The forest seemed to close around them. Trees leaned in shadows, stretched long across the ground. Leaves whispered with the wind, as if the earth itself watched. She felt connection with life all around, every movement in harmony with her own. The bear was powerful but cautious. She could see intelligence in its eyes, weighing risk against instinct. Boy whimpered softly. He wanted to move but stayed frozen. He trusted completely, yet fear pressed down on his chest. He felt the warmth of the woman behind him like an anchor. He sensed courage radiating without words. She had become more than protector. She had become a force the bear had to respect. The bear took a slow step forward, its body taut muscles rolling beneath dark fur. It sniffed the air, testing scents. She stayed grounded, adjusting posture, making herself appear larger yet controlled. Her shadow stretched over the boy, shielding him. Her arms moved slowly, as if painting an invisible barrier far off. The voices of the tribe grew louder. They were approaching, unaware of the exact danger. They would arrive soon, but she could not rely on timing. She needed to stay fully present in each moment, every decision critical, every action measured. She could feel the weight of responsibility pressing on every dry branch snapped under unseen feet. The bear twitched its ears, its nose sniffed sharply. She stayed still, every fiber of her body alert. She did not flinch. She did not move suddenly. She waited for the bear to decide, its eyes locked on her presence, testing boundaries. Her breath steady, ready for sudden action. The boy felt hope flicker deep inside. He could sense that she would not abandon him. He believed instinctively that he would survive. He stayed still, trusting completely she had become the axis of safety, the balance on which his life depended. The forest seemed to hold its breath, every leaf, every branch suspended in quiet tension. The bear circled slightly, sniffing the ground, its ears twitched. Its eyes flicked between the woman and the boy. She shifted stance slightly, countering without aggression, showing readiness without provoking attack. Her legs trembled from tension and fatigue, yet she held firm. She did not give the animal reason to strike. She remained grounded, unyielding. Time moved in strange stretches. The forest seemed frozen. The woman and the bear and the boy formed a triangle of awareness. Each decision was silent communication. She could feel instinct passing between them like invisible threads. She adjusted posture, breathing slow, letting presence speak louder than words. The boy sensed it. He clutched his hands quietly, feeling courage he could not name. The bear lifted one massive paw, then paused, its body language uncertain. She remained still, observing each twitch, each micro-movement. She knew any sudden shift could shatter fragile balance. Her eyes held the creature, her breathing synchronized with the rhythm of forest. She did not give in to fear, only focused. The boy felt warmth and protection like a shield. He stayed behind her, sensing invisible barrier between him and danger. He whispered quietly to himself, staying calm, repeating words he did not understand fully, but that comforted him. She had become more than protector. She had become a guide, teaching without words the meaning of courage. The bear sniffed again, considering action. Its nose twitched, scanning air, adjusting to scent. No. The woman mirrored its attention, subtly shifting weight, showing awareness without retreating. Her shadow covered the boy, shielding. Without pressure, her presence commanded respect without threat. The forest seemed to hum around them, energy pulsing through trees and earth. A sudden rustle to the side made the bear turn, its head listening, every muscle tensed. She remained fully present, holding position, ready for any lunge. Any misstep could be fatal. She stayed calm, focused, controlled. Her heart pounded, but did not overtake her mind. She controlled her body, every nerve alert. The boy stayed frozen, watching, breathing in small, shallow breaths, feeling safety and presence. She whispered to herself quietly, grounding mind and body. Her eyes never left the bear. Her hands slowly adjusted posture, creating invisible line of protection. She was ready to act without panic, without error, every movement a message of strength. Bear moved one more step, then paused, sniffing again, her eyes locked on it, calculating each micro-movement. She could feel instinct speaking its language, balancing tension with respect. She stayed fully present, adjusting slightly, keeping dominance. Without aggression, her shadow stretched across the forest floor, shielding boy, every line deliberate. The boy felt strange calm, could feel courage flowing from her presence. He stayed still, trusting completely. He felt she would not let him fall. He sensed safety even as fear pressed against chest. The forest seemed to lean closer, listening, every leaf, every whisper suspended in quiet tension. Woman whispered under breath, steadying mind, every breath controlled. The bear circled slightly, testing boundaries. Her body responded instinctively, balancing readiness with calm. She remained still, letting presence speak louder than any words. Every moment stretched into eternity yet. She stayed fully engaged, ready to act. The boy watched awed. His small body pressed quiet, yet alive. He felt invisible threads of courage connecting him to her. He trusted completely. She had become the axis of life itself. Protecting without thought of self, the forest seemed to watch, holding each movement. Suspended in quiet observation, the bear sniffed again. Undecided, its eyes locked on human presence. Weighing risk against instinct, she did not flinch, did not move suddenly. She adjusted subtly, showing awareness without aggression. Her shadow stretched across the boy's shielding, and guarding her arms moved slightly, each line deliberate, every motion a message of strength. The forest seemed to pulse energy around them. The woman could feel life all around, every leaf, every bird, every shift in wind. She stayed fully grounded, ready for sudden movement, yet refusing panic, each choice measured, precise. The bear moved slightly back, then paused. She mirrored subtly, maintaining dominance without provocation. Her breath slow, controlled, every muscle aligned. The boy felt hope grow. He saw strength and courage radiating from her. He stayed still, feeling safety and warmth. Sensed protection, invisible barrier wrapping around him. She had become more than protector. She had become a force commanding respect without violence. The forest held its breath, witnessing the moment. Every living thing paused. Bear hesitated, its massive body tense. The forest seemed to hold its breath. The woman stayed rooted, her eyes locked on the animal. She felt the adrenaline ebbing slowly, replacing fear with steady focus. Behind her, the boy stayed frozen, trusting completely. She had become a shield, a force of nature, guiding survival without words. The wind shifted, carrying distant sounds. The tribe was coming closer. Their voices grew, faintly through trees, unaware of the moment unfolding. She could feel relief and danger intertwining. She could not move too quickly or too slowly. Every choice mattered. The bear sniffed the air, unsure of the sounds far away. The woman adjusted stance, keeping balance. Her shadow stretched across the forest floor, shielding the boy. Her arms moved slightly, creating an invisible barrier. She breathed slow, deep, grounding herself in the rhythm of the forest. Her eyes never left the bear, her body ready for sudden movement. Every muscle coiled yet controlled. The boy whimpered softly, small tremors running through him. He stayed behind the woman, pressed to her presence, feeling calm. He sensed courage he could not name flowing from her. She had become more than protector. She had become the embodiment of strength. She held him without touching, using presence as anchor. The forest seemed suspended, watching every micro movement. The bear sniffed once, then slowly stepped back, its massive form still looming. She remained still, her body controlled, showing awareness without provoking aggression. The ground beneath her feet felt alive, vibrating slightly from tension. She focused on balance and control, every thought honed to protect the child. A bird called sharply from above, startling leaves. She did not flinch. She did not move too quickly. The bear reacted momentarily, then settled. She kept presence firm and unwavering. The boy watched, awed, his fear slowly easing. He felt invisible threads of courage wrapping around him. She had become axis of safety, guiding him without words. The distant voices grew louder. She could sense the tribe approaching. She did not move. She could not yet trust timing. Any sudden movement could provoke the bear. She remained fully present, aware of every shift in its muscles, every twitch of nose or ear, every breath measured, slow, deliberate, steady. Bear sniffed again, testing boundaries. Its eyes flicked between the boy and the woman she mirrored with. Subtle shifts, posture grounded yet dominant. She did not retreat, did not shout. She allowed presence to speak. She could see intelligence in the animal, weighing risk against instinct. Her shadow covered the boy, shielding invisibly. The boy felt hope flicker. He stayed pressed behind her, trusting completely, his small hands clasped together, his body tense but still. He felt courage flowing from the woman. He sensed protection in the air. She had become the axis of life in that moment, guiding survival. The forest seemed to lean closer, observing every detail. The bear took a slow step back, then paused again. It sniffed the ground, adjusting its massive head. The woman mirrored movements subtly, showing awareness without threat. Her arms stretched slightly, creating invisible line. Her shadow elongated, shielding the boy. She breathed, slow, steady, controlling heart rate, muscles, nerves, ready for any sudden action. Leaves rustled softly above her. Focus remained absolute. Every micro-movement observed. The boy stayed frozen, but calm, sensing invisible protection. He felt courage flowing from presence. He could feel safety he did not fully understand, but knew instinctively. She had become more than protector. She had become a force commanding respect. Without violence, the forest seemed to hum energy around them. The bear weighed choices, instinct versus curiosity. It shifted slightly, sniffing air. The woman adjusted posture, slight coiling, ready. Her shadow stretched fully across the ground, covering the boy. She did not move abruptly, letting presence speak louder than words. Every movement measured, precise, controlled. The boy breathed quietly, feeling heart settle slightly. He pressed behind her, feeling invisible shield around him, courage radiating. From presence, he sensed safety. She had become anchor axes of life, guiding survival without touch, without sound. The forest seemed suspended, witnessing moment. Energy pulsing through trees and earth. The bear finally lifted massive paw, then paused. Again, its head lowered slightly. Sniffing, the woman stayed rooted, steady, calm, ready for any lunge. She adjusted weight subtly, showing awareness without provoking attack. Her shadow remained stretched across boy, shielding him invisibly. Her body spoke. Courage, presence, authority. The boy felt hope grow, his small body pressed behind her. He sensed invisible protection surrounding him. He stayed still, completely trusting. He could feel courage he could not name flowing through air. She had become more than protector. She had become force commanding respect. She had become anchor of life in that moment, guiding survival. The forest seemed quiet, energy flowing through trees and ground. The distant voices grew louder, yet still far. She could sense help approaching. She did not move, relying on presence. She remained grounded, fully aware, ready for sudden action. Her breath slow, controlled each muscle, coiled tension and focus in perfect balance. The bear sniffed air, uncertainty in massive eyes. Weighed options, instinct against caution. She stayed calm, fully present. The boy felt warmth, courage radiating from her. He sensed protection, invisible threads wrapping around him. She had become axis of safety, guiding without touch, guiding without words. He stayed still, completely trusting her presence, spoke louder than any sound. She had become force commanding respect without aggression. Forest held its breath, witnessing every micro-movement. The bear hesitated, then turned, slowly retreating. Into the deeper forest, the woman stayed rooted, her body tense, ready for any sudden movement. The boy pressed behind her, feeling courage flowing from her presence. He sensed protection, invisible barriers surrounding him. He stayed still, completely trusting. She had become axis of safety, guiding without touch, guiding without words. The distant voices grew closer. The tribe arrived, rushing through trees, moving fast. Their expressions changed to shock as they saw the bear disappearing. Their eyes then fell on the woman standing strong. The boy ran to them, clutching hands pressed to chest. He looked back at her, and then at the tribe, and felt relief wash over him. The woman finally lowered arms, her body trembling slightly from tension, fatigue, and adrenaline. She breathed deep, slow, heart racing, but she felt a strange calm. The tribe gathered around quickly, checking the boy and looking at her with awe. Their eyes showed respect, gratitude, and disbelief. They had never seen courage like this. Before, the boy told them quietly what had happened, how the woman had stood in front of him, protecting without moving, without fear. The tribe listened silently, eyes wide, mouths pressed together. They nodded to each other, silently acknowledging bravery. Beyond words, they spoke to the woman softly, their tone respectful and warm. The woman felt a mix of relief and exhaustion. She realized she had risked much, but she had no regrets. She had acted instinctively to protect life. She looked at the boy. Seeing trust and innocence restored, she felt connection with him and with the tribe she had never met fully yet, felt bond forming in that moment. The elders of the tribe approached slowly, their movements deliberate and calm. They spoke softly, their words carrying meaning beyond translation. They offered gifts, small items, symbolic of gratitude, respect, and recognition. The woman accepted humbly. She had not expected reward. She only felt fulfillment, knowing she had saved a life. The boy hugged her briefly, his small arms tight. She held him gently, feeling warmth and relief. She whispered to him softly, calming words he could not understand fully, yet they reassured him completely. The tribe gathered around, forming circle of unity and respect. They shared smiles and quiet conversation, acknowledging courage and life preserved. The forest seemed quieter now, peaceful, returning to natural rhythm. Leaves moved gently, wind blew. Softly birds began to sing again. The woman felt energy of life around her, calm presence of forest, wrapping everyone in harmony. She looked at the tribe, feeling bond stronger than before, feeling connection not through words but through shared experience and respect. Boy stayed close to her, hands held together, trusting completely. He felt courage and safety flowing from her. She had become protector, anchor, guide, without thought for self or presence, gave him strength he would carry forever. He understood bravery in a way no words could teach him. He had witnessed courage in action. The elders guided the tribe back slowly, ensuring safety. They spoke softly, instructing others to respect the forest, the bear, and the woman. They made clear this was a moment to remember, a lesson in courage, respect, and human connection. The woman followed, quietly, humbled, observing. Gratitude expressed in quiet, deliberate way, beyond words, beyond sound. The boy ran ahead with some of the children, laughing softly but remaining aware. They shared small glances back at the woman. She nodded to them, acknowledging bond formed, invisible threads connecting. Everyone present, the forest seemed to watch, as if approving, silent witness of life preserved. Courage recognized, and gratitude shown. The woman felt her body relax slightly, muscles softening, heart still beating fast, yet steadier. She knew moments like this could change lives forever. She looked at the boy, seeing innocence restored, courage ignited. She felt deep connection not only with him but with tribe and forest all around. A circle of life had been acknowledged and strengthened. Through one act of bravery, the tribe invited her to sit with them by a small clearing, offering simple food and water. She accepted humbly. They spoke softly, sharing stories of past courage, of respect for land of animals. They included her in rituals of thanks. Not as stranger, but as part of shared moment. She felt gratitude flow through herself, not for reward but for shared humanity and recognition of life. Preserve. The boy stayed beside her, listening quietly, absorbing stories, feeling courage and trust. Surrounding him, he looked at her with admiration and gratitude. She felt warmth from him, confidence that life had been preserved and that he understood bravery now beyond fear. He clung to lessons learned silently through presence, observation, and experiences. Sun moved higher. The tribe began to move on slowly, their movements deliberate, respectful. The woman walked with them back towards safer paths. She felt bond growing stronger each step. Her eyes occasionally met those of elders or children, acknowledging connection, invisible threads weaving between them. The forest felt calm, energy settled, life resumed. Normal rhythm, yet memory of courage lingered. The woman felt sense of fulfillment deeper than words. She realized act had created ripple through lives beyond her own. She saw gratitude shining in eyes of tribe and boy. She sensed respect and unity that transcended language, culture, or distance. She had stood against danger without thought for self, and had given courage, life, and hope. Boy occasionally glanced at her, feeling warmth, courage flowing through invisible barrier of protection. He knew safety was present. He carried lessons of bravery beyond fear. Recognition of human connection and respect for life. He smiled softly. Glancing back at forest, remembering moments shared with protector and tribe, the woman knew she would carry memory forever. Bond formed unspoken. Yet strong. As tribe moved further, she stopped briefly, feeling forest around her, breathing slowly, absorbing. Calm energy, sun filtering through trees, birds singing softly, wind brushing leaves, gentle touch. She realized courage had preserved life, gratitude had been expressed, and connection had been made. She felt full circle of experience deep within soul. Boy ran ahead, catching up to other children, laughing softly. She watched, smiling quietly, her heart filled with calm fulfillment. She realized this act of courage had not only preserved life, but had created bond, unity, and understanding. She walked slowly behind tribe, feeling presence of forest, peace, gratitude, courage, and human connection wrapping all around, invisible threads weaving story of bravery, respect, and life preserved. The forest returned to quiet, normal rhythm, yet the woman could feel energy lingering from the encounter. Her muscles ached, her body still tense from adrenaline, yet her mind felt calm and clear. She walked slowly through trees, absorbing surroundings, feeling life pulse around her. Leaves whispered softly in wind. Birds chirped distant notes, creating gentle symphony of forest sounds. Boy walked close to her, staying quiet, his small hands brushing against her arm occasionally. He felt safe presence surrounding him, invisible shield of protection that did not need words. He glanced at her occasionally, feeling courage and trust flowing. He understood instinctively that her actions had saved him, and that bond now existed unspoken, yet strong. Tribe had moved on slightly ahead, speaking softly among themselves. The woman followed respectfully, not wanting to rush. She felt connection with their traditions, their rhythm, and respect for life around them. She listened quietly to distant words she could not understand, yet felt meaning in tone. In care and respect shone the sun, filtered through high leaves, creating patterns on forest floor. Light and shadow danced together. She paused briefly, closing eyes. Breathing slow, inhaling calm, exhaling tension. She felt presence of life all around, energy pulsing through trees, earth, and sky. It reminded her that bravery and care were intertwined with respect for all beings. Boy spoke quietly, finally asking questions about what had happened. His voice small, hesitant, yet curious. She explained simply. Showing respect for his understanding, he listened intently, eyes wide, absorbing every word, not as lecture, but as story of courage and trust. He felt lessons beyond words, lessons carried in experience and observation. The woman pointed out small signs. In forests, broken twigs, marks on trees, birds nesting. She explained how every life had its place, every movement had meaning. The boy nodded quietly, absorbing more than facts, absorbing rhythm of life, feeling connection with forests and understanding. Responsibility and courage intertwined. The tribe began to set small camp near gentle stream water, flowing clear and calm. She helped quietly, carrying small items without being asked. She observed their practices with respect, noticing rituals of care, gratitude, and presence. She realized that courage extended beyond moments of danger. It lived in every act of kindness, respect, and awareness of life. Around, the boy played briefly near water, watching small fish and insects moving through current. He laughed softly, yet cautiously, staying near her. He understood instinctively to stay within safe bounds, yet explore and learn. He felt courage in him. Now courage learned from presence, an example of protection shown earlier. She watched children from tribe playing softly, teaching one another, quietly observing. She realized that bravery and life lessons were shared through action, presence, and respect, not always through words. The boy came to her periodically, seeking guidance, reassurance. She gave quietly steady presence, anchoring him in calm understanding. The sun began to dip lower, casting warm golden light. The woman felt day moving towards calm, peaceful evening. She helped gather small firewood, carefully respecting surroundings. She felt energy in every action, every breath connected to forest rhythm. She realized bravery did not end with moment of danger. It continued in mindful awareness, in presence, in care for life around thee. Tribe gathered food, preparing simple meal. She watched, quietly helping where needed. She felt inclusion, unspoken bond forming. She observed rituals of thanks, quiet words of gratitude, and small songs shared around gathering. She realized human connection, courage, and gratitude intertwined, creating moments that endured beyond time. The boy sat quietly beside her, listening to sounds of forest night, approaching, his eyes wide. Absorbing lessons not taught directly but shown through action and presence. He felt courage, confidence, and safety flowing from her. She smiled quietly, sensing bond growing deeper, invisible yet tangible. She realized that teaching and protecting were intertwined in every step. Thought and breath. Night settled softly, forest alive with gentle sounds of insects and distant animals. She watched stars appear slowly in clear sky above. She felt connection with universe life around, and human bond formed. She realized that bravery had ripple effects influencing life, trust, gratitude, and understanding beyond. Immediate moment, the boy lay down quietly nearby, feeling safe. Presence radiating from her, she whispered quietly, guiding him into calm rest. He felt warmth, safety, and courage in presence. She felt fulfillment seeing calm restored life-preserved bond. Strengthened, she reflected on how one act of courage had created lasting influence in human hearts. In forest harmony, the tribe settled around small fire, quietly singing songs. Small chants expressing gratitude. She felt inclusion, unspoken respect. In connection, she joined quietly observing, participating in calm awareness, learning from rhythm of life, being present fully. She felt gratitude in heart, understanding courage shared and acknowledged in action, presence, and respect. The woman finally rested herself, leaning against trees, softly breathing. Absorbing calm energy forest night, she realized courage and protection were not only acts in moments of danger, but lived through awareness, respect, and presence. She felt fulfillment. Deep within, knowing life had been preserved, trust had been built, and connection shared beyond words across humans and foresta. Boy drifted to sleep feeling safe and calm. His small hand occasionally brushed hers. He sensed lessons of courage learned. Through presence, experience, and trust, he felt bond unspoken yet strong. She felt peace, knowing his spirit carried courage, confidence, and understanding of life, respect, and connection. The forest stood witness, alive and calm, embracing all in rhythm. And presence, the first light of morning, filtered softly through trees. The woman stretched slowly, feeling muscles ache, yet mind calm from night and forest. The boy woke quietly near her, still feeling safe presence. He rose slowly, brushing leaves from clothes, and glanced at her, eyes wide with curiosity yet trust. She smiled softly, nodding to reassure him, though. The tribe was already moving lightly, gathering belongings, small bundles, careful not to disturb forest rhythm. The woman followed quietly, observing their movements, learning unspoken ways of respect for land and creatures. She felt gratitude for inclusion, trust, and bond created through previous days' events. The boy ran briefly to catch small animals' tracks in mud, his curiosity alive yet tempered. By understanding he had learned from presence of woman, he returned quickly, staying close yet exploring small wonders of forest. He felt excitement and courage growing inside, tempered by lessons from experience. He glanced at her for reassurance. Each time, learning to measure risk with instinct, the woman noticed patterns of birds, trees, and soil. She spoke softly, sharing insight with boy, showing how forest communicated through subtle signs. He listened intently, eyes wide, absorbing every lesson. Not as a lecture, but as rhythm of life, she guided gently, showing paths safe to travel, observing behavior of small animals, and adjusting steps accordingly. The tribe paused near gentle stream water, clear and calm. She helped quietly, observing their customs, watching as small items of ritual were handled with care. She felt bonds strengthening, unspoken trust, and gratitude flowing. She understood that courage extended beyond moments of danger. It lived in every mindful action, every observation, every care for life around. The boy dipped hands into water, watching fish move around. He smiled softly, feeling joy and excitement. He ran fingers through water, slowly observing tiny creatures moving. He laughed quietly, glancing at woman to share small victories. She smiled back, encouraging exploration within boundaries of safety, showing courage and care and presence. Woman explained slowly how forest teaches patience, observation, and understanding. She moved quietly, showing paths and signs. Left by creatures, she guided boy gently, demonstrating balance between curiosity and caution. Learned to trust instinct, to observe before acting, and to respect every living being they encountered. The forest seemed alive around them, pulsing with energy, teaching lessons beyond words. The tribe stopped to rest under a shade of large tree. They shared small meals, quietly speaking in gentle tones. She joined, carefully observing customs, learning meaning behind rituals. She felt inclusion and connection, bond forming stronger with every shared moment. She realized that courage and life lessons were expressed through presence, action, and respect, not only through words. The boy helped collect small branches and leaves under her guidance, learning respect for forest and understanding safety. He moved carefully, noticing small changes in terrain, watching for animal tracks, listening to subtle sounds. She guided quietly, correcting gently, reinforcing lessons of observation, patience, and courage. He absorbed knowledge not just intellectually, but through experience and presence. The woman paused by small clearing, showing boy signs on ground of large animals. She explained how to read each trace, interpreting size, movement, and direction. She encouraged him to think without fear, to respect without avoidance. He felt empowerment, curiosity, and confidence growing. She emphasized caution, courage, and awareness intertwined. Forming foundation for decision and action in future, the tribe gathered around, small fire creating warmth for midday rest. She observed quietly, helping with small tasks, feeling rhythm and unspoken trust. She saw connection forming not only between herself and boy, but among tribe, observing courage, presence, and respect. They shared small stories, gestures demonstrating lessons passed through generations. She felt honored to witness and participate quietly without imposing. The boy explored nearby, gently touching plants. Noticing colors, shapes, textures, she guided him quietly. Explaining importance of understanding environment before action, he learned patience, observation, and subtle cues, courage, and respect intertwined. He felt confidence growing, trust and instinct, and presence of protector and teacher. He smiled softly. Glancing at woman, understanding lesson deeper than words, the sun shifted slowly, casting golden light through forest canopy. The woman paused, feeling warmth, energy, calm reflection. She observed boy exploring learning, courage, respect, and patience. She realized act of bravery had extended into lessons of life, connection, gratitude, and understanding. She felt fulfillment watching courage, nurture, confidence, connection. Across humans and forest, the tribe prepared to move again, collecting bundles. Carefully, she followed, observing rhythm and customs. She felt bonds stronger, watching cooperation, understanding respect for forest and life around. She guided boy quietly, reinforcing lessons of awareness, observation, patience, courage, and respect. They moved slowly through forest, rhythmically attentive to surroundings. The boy occasionally ran briefly to investigate markings on trees or small animal tracks. He returned quickly, staying close. She smiled quietly, encouraging exploration tempered with observation. She reinforced lessons learned through presence, guidance, and subtle demonstration. He felt growing confidence, courage, and trust in judgment of instinct and teacher presence. The woman reflected quietly on journey. Courage displayed, gratitude expressed, and lessons shared. She felt deep connection to boy tribe and forest energy around, alive, vibrant, teaching lessons silently. She understood bravery extended beyond confrontation into presence, awareness, care, and shared experience. She breathed slowly, absorbing calm energy. Preparing for continued journey, the tribe paused for final rest before moving toward outer edges of forest. She helped quietly, observing customs, rituals, small acts of care and respect. She realized courage, trust, and gratitude intertwined, forming lasting bond. She guided boy gently, reinforcing lessons of observation, patience, respect, and courage, forming foundation for understanding future challenges and experiences. The boy sat quietly, watching small creatures moving in underbrush, observing and absorbing lessons learned through presence and action. He smiled softly, glancing at woman, feeling trust and courage within him. He understood courage not as absence of fear, but action, guided by respect, observation, and awareness. He carried lessons silently, observing and absorbing every step of forest rhythm and human connection. The forest stood calm, energy pulsating through trees and ground. The woman and boy moved with tribe slowly outward, rhythmically, aware, attentive to surroundings, each step measured, observing every detail, listening to forest and tribe. She guided boy, reinforcing lessons of courage, patience, observation, and respect. They moved together silently, learning, sharing presence, energy, and connection flowing, unspoken, yet deeply understood.